So anyway, strengths can be defined in many different ways. So I would, I would go, and then for the ladies, it's the same argument in the complete opposite direction, right? In terms of, I don't want to get too big. Well, you don't want to get too big. Well, what do you want to do? Right. Do you want to be stronger?
Look, so here's where the whole topic, I had a conversation today, and that someone told me that they wanted to be strong, right? Female someone. And that led to, instantly I showed her Maddie Rogers, right? And she said, well, okay, at first she said, well, I don't want to get big, right? I showed her Maddie Rogers. What do we know about Maddie Rogers? One of the best weightlifters in the country. She's snatched 110, somewhere around there, right? Absurdly strong, right? Just like pound for pound strong, not pound for pound strong, right? What does she look like? So I hate this conversation. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, right? The aesthetics conversation. I could care less about the aesthetics of anything. I want to know what it does for your performance, right? So when it comes to the females, it's that same issue always. I don't want to be big. Look, I don't know if John will. I'm sure John will go. I dropped my pen.
This one?
I don't. Thank you. I don't know what to do with my hands if I don't have the pen.
I know you kind of panicked.
That
was kind of weird.
I might need an ambulance or something.
Yeah, I dropped my pen. Definitely not my underwear. Not my underwear. Definitely not Kmart.
So now I completely lost train of thought again. Great. Slap me or something. No, don't do it. No, don't do that. Shit. The question of size comes up, and I think John will go with me on this. Look, we're gonna break the bad news to the world right now as far as size goes. These are an anomaly. Okay, these right here, these things, these are the product of good genetics, right? The ability to gain muscle. They're the product of a lot of food, right? Protein.
And inefficient lifting mostly.
And yeah, inefficient lifting, because John's got all kind. Have you talked about this in a video? Tell him.
The injuries or whatever?
Yeah, like in short form.
So the concise version is that...
we shouldn't say video constantly because it's going to podcasts.
I don't say video, you say it all the time.
I know, I can't help it.
So I twisted...
Sorry, podcasters.
I twisted my neck real bad in a landing in an airborne jump in the military.
Oh, so cool, military.
It wasn't. Turns out that jumping out of airplanes isn't nearly as cool. Skydiving is cool. Jumping out... Anyway... This jumping is cool, and my neck got twisted. It was twisted for 12 years, and I got the Army to x-ray, and they're like, you're good. So I finally got it untwisted about 6 months ago. But up to that point, my spinal column and skeletal structure below it shifted, right? And it started pinching on nerves and stuff. Anyway, the long story longer, I lacked a lot of glute activation, but I still insisted on...
Are you Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
It's a big joke. When he was hurt, before he came back and won the Masters, every press conference he talked about how he wasn't activating his glutes.
Oh, well, I don't watch golf because I'm a man.
Don't do that. Golf is a fine sport.
Is it though?
I mean,
is it?
Hey, Luke.
What was I saying? Oh, so I lacked a lot of glute activation and lifted a lot of weights, and that was over. So basically, my ass is in my traps. The funny thing about my ass is it's right here on top of my neck. And it's somewhat genetic. But anyway, the point is it's not functional.
Well, the point about genetics being you have the ability to gain a decent amount of mass if you want, right? So the people you see that you're worried about being, especially the women, the people you see that you're worried about being, they're on steroids, right? You're never going to look like that.
Well, not to mention they're training for hours upon hours.
Yes.
Not a 1 hour class 3 to 5 times a week. So anyway, as to my fellow affiliate owners out there, what I would suggest is instead of, you're always, all of us, I know we've been in the game long enough, you're always going to ask what your client's goals are, right? And you're always going to give them the time and space to respect those goals, help them work towards those goals. But I do also think that the sport, CrossFit, sport, the regime, whatever you want to call it, is at a stage where it's as it's part of our jobs and responsibility owners to help guide that fitness journey towards wellness, right? And so it's, hey, if you're chasing strength, cool, but let's continue to redefine and evolve what your idea of strength as you go down your path as a CrossFitter or a human being trying to stay fit, right? Let's continue to evolve and challenge what that means, right? And guide it toward, because here's what's not sustainable for the long run. Chasing aesthetics, vanity is only going to last and motivate people for so long, and is only going to and has a point of diminishing returns the further you get down that rabbit hole. It starts off very healthy. Okay, we're losing weight, we're feeling better about ourselves. Okay, now we've lost the weight, we're still chasing aesthetics. Okay, now we're taking PEDs. Now we're taking, like when it comes to figure competitors, now we're taking diuretics, right? There's a point of diminishing returns in that rabbit hole where it's no longer healthy. Yeah, they poop, so it leans you out and you look more vascular and blah, 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 blah. And when CrossFit first came out, it was in direct opposition to that whole fitness regime, right? And what's kind of ironic now is it's almost come first full cycle with the CrossFitters are just as vain and chasing just as much as this. So I would like us as affiliate owners to get back to the roots of what do we chase? Let's chase wellness, man, and quality of life.
Yeah.
Now let's chase human performance as a part of that. Sure, let's be competitive. Let's try to get better. Let's try to PR. Let's try to get faster. But then let's worry about that and let our body's form take care of itself. Let the form follow the function instead of the other way around. Same thing with the lifts or the times or whatever. Let's chase progress, but don't get wrapped around the time of your workout or the weight on your lift is just a metric, is just feedback, is just data to let you know that if you're moving forward, right? And we all know that the human body moves forward like this or moves up like this. It's peaks and valleys. It's not linear. So let's not put that pressure on ourselves or our athletes or our clients, whatever you want to call them, right? And let's keep in mind that that's the metric, and that the overall goal is that we're feeling better and that our bodies are capable of doing more, and that we have more energy to spend doing the other things that we love outside the gym, like play with our kids or our brothers and sisters or family or loved ones or whatever.
Yeah, that's the whole, for me, that's the whole reason I want to talk about this, because there's always the question with this program for 8-9 years now. There's always been the question of why are we doing so much strength work? Like, aren't we accomplishing that through this and this? Like, I'm as a programmer, I'm old school methodology, right? I'm cycle. This has got to go together. These pieces have got to fit. Right now, we're doing the 10-8-5 Kyle Pierce cycle, right? That we do stuff that we know works,
right?
All right, and it drives me crazy. John will come up, and you're probably gonna end up wanting this edited out, but John will send me texts like, these people are concerned with this, like, when's the cycle going to change? The cycle's going to change when it's over, right? It may get boring. Like, sorry, that's how you get stronger, right? That's a linear progression. That's something that actually is going to build that strength over time,
right?
And if you don't have somebody, or if you're not somebody who's at the tip of the spear, or the in the driver's seat, whatever metaphor you want to use, that's saying, look, I don't care if you've done bench press 5 weeks in a row, right? That's how you get stronger. Us just throwing crap against the wall, trying to entertain people, is not what's going to make them stronger.
Mm-hmm. And whose responsibility is it to set that tone for the whole community?
Well, it's whoever the programmers are, or if you're talking in the gym, you're talking gym
your
owners,
your head coaches, your coaches.
Right.
And it's a great point. It's one we touched on in the last video with our sua sponte site instructor Ben Roberts, and he and I discussed the same thing. Right? You can make 150 burpees fun.
Yeah.
And you can make the craziest, coolest WOD in the world suck.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere in which you're doing it, the people that you're around, and who's setting that tone, and and how it feels when you're doing it.
Yeah, the leadership. John and I have been in the gym business for combined like 20 years or something like that. The leadership of those people at the forefront in the face of the clients are the ones that dictate whether the client whether the athlete understands why you're doing this, right? If they understand why you're doing this and it's been communicated to them why it's so important, right? The benefits of the strength work, then there's not those issues. The feedback isn't negative because we've done bench press 5 weeks in a row, right? The feedback is, yes, I'm writing this down in my book every time, and I can't wait to PR at the end of the cycle.
Well, and it's how you react to that feedback, right? So if you're an affiliate owner,
I'm getting excited now.
Yeah, you're a head coach, right? And you come up and they're like, Coach, we've been doing bench press on Wednesdays or whatever it is for the last 12 weeks. Like, when's it going to change? Hey, okay, so there's 2 ways to react to that. Oh, he's right, and I don't know when it is.
You have to stop
cursing. What's that?
You have to stop cursing.
I feel like we usually curse a little. Do we usually curse a little bit?
We never curse.
Oh, okay.
This is for the kids.
So client comes up and says, hey, Coach, we've been bench pressing every Wednesday for 12 weeks. It's getting a little boring, like when's that going to change? Okay, there's 2 ways to react to that. One is to feed into that anxiety, right? And say, oh man, I need to ask John and find out from Rudy when is that, I need to know when does it actually end, and when and go down that rabbit hole. And the other way to react is, hey, what are they really communicating to you right then, right? What is that client really saying? Are they claiming that Rudy and I don't know what we're doing when it comes to building strength, or that we're just being lazy by programming the same thing over and over again? I can guarantee you can come hang out with us here when we do the programming. That ain't it.
It's crazy.
Turns out this guy actually enjoys doing it and put a lot of pride behind it. If something's repetitive, it's because that's how you build strength, is with somewhat redundant movements. I mean, you look up any definition of strength, any linear progression, stuff that's been around for hundreds of years, you're going to have to repeat movement patterns. Thousands?
100?
100?
Yeah, I mean.
Close enough. Right?
Well, probably over 100, but yeah.
Yeah, it's whether it's
Well, no, it's like you lift the bigger goat.
Yeah, it's whether you're training a dog or a human. Right? Repetition of the same task is what leads to building those neurological pathways, and that's what builds strength, right? So you can take what they say and hear it as and then run down the rabbit hole with them, and then text me and be like, what? Or you could hear what they're really trying to communicate to you, right? At the base of their communication, what are they saying? When I hear something like that, what I really hear is something along the lines of, hey, I'm really into my fitness. I'm really dedicated to this process of getting stronger and seeing improvement and wanting to get better, right? And I've gone one step further and chosen to express that energy and that desire and that passion to get better, and I'm pointed it at the programming, because that's the lowest hanging fruit. That's the most obvious thing to get wrapped around the axle about, right? Well, and I know that because I've been wrapped around that axle. And everybody that's ever been serious about CrossFit at one point in their evolution as a CrossFitter or as an athlete in general, as a human being chasing performance, every single person that's done that has at some point got wrapped around that axle. Some of them stay wrapped around for a long time. But the most beneficial evolution is to take that next step and realize, okay, that passion, that desire, that energy that you're pointing at the programming for your athletes, for you, for whoever, is 10 times better off pointed at things like, oh, I don't know, what's your nutrition look like? How much sleep are you?
To me, that sounds like...
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
How much sleep are you getting, right?
All right.
How are you handling your stress outside the gym? How are you handling your personal relation? I mean, you go any other different direction. There's a million.
So Dr. Phil, Tony Robbins tonight.
Dude, I don't like those analogies. Tony Robbins is a corn. No offense, Tony. Don't sue me or something.
Tony.
I mean, I don't want to offend him, but
why? Was he gonna come get us?
I don't know.
Did Tony Robbins have a death squad?
I don't know.
I mean, bring him.
Yeah.
I got an arrow.
Well, we got guns for that.
Yeah. Jesus. You took it right over the top,
Is that
buddy.
too much?
Huh?
I thought we were being serious.